How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Factorio here on Volcanus. In the last couple of days, I've been working on trying to get more of what we need set up so that way we can go ahead and start getting rockets launched. I went ahead and we got 10 of the rocket silos needed, so now here on Volcanus we are fully capable, more or less, of launching these 10 plus these 3. However, we don't fully have everything going. I ideally want to have 20 silos being able to launch. One of the other important areas is so we have fuel going up here. And then one of the other things that I'm looking at trying to get for us is we need to do low density structure. That's another thing we need to make. So let's see, on our list of stuff we still need low density structure, which I think we might put like here, because I know we've been putting all the like oil and fluidy things up top. I just want to make sure that there's nothing left on that list. Let's see, we made lubricant, yeah. Yeah, and then we want to do belt. I'm not sure where we're going to do that. I think we might do it over here, just because iron, gears, a lot of that are going to be going back and forth. I do know we need circuits, though, and we also still need to do the copper. The copper we might be able to fit, like, here. How much copper do we need? Let's see. Most of it looks like it's going to be going towards circuits, in the form of copper cable. Let's see, in the actual recipe item. In case anybody's wondering, right now I'm just looking at a Factorio calculator. For 1,000 science per minute, as well as the belt machines, as well as 20 rockets. So that's how everything's ratioed. So that's how I'm getting these numbers, in case anybody's wondering. I think the one I'm currently using is Factorio Labs, or Factorio Lab. A really, really great site. They also have one for Satisfactory, Dyson Sphere, it looks like, and a couple other games, or mods. Okay, so let's see. Most of it is going to go towards science, 52% of it. 26 is going to go towards low density structure. Okay, yeah, so there's not too much. We do need 40. Well, we already have the thing over here, but we need the foundries for the science. Those will probably be maybe down here, actually. That could work. Put the science here, or honestly, no. Put the science here, because then it's just a boom, 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 boom. Same thing, put belt here, and then it's boom, 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 boom. Make sense? Because I'm trying to think like robot-wise. I mean, trying to make shortest path here. Okay, so then we don't need copper plate at all. We do need to get circuits. Did we ever get the circuit electromagnetic plants delivered? No. Did we get them here? We got some. Right now it's over Flagora. Okay, why don't we have more from Flagora? Let's see. Let's figure this conundrum out. Okay, so it looks like we were trying to make more of these. There are more. That's right. Okay, this doesn't have an output. So, but what's funny is if you delete it out of its inventory like that, a robot can go and pick it up. That to me is the wildest thing. So basically what we can do is we can do this from a planet we're not even on and have it go and build stuff, which I think is funny. Absolutely hilarious in my eyes. Okay. And then automatic. Cool, everything should be automatic here. Yeah, cool. Alright, so we have a couple rocket silos. We need 2 more? Yeah, okay. That's going to replenish its stuff. Robots are going to do that. The other thing I was looking at, do we have... Because these guys are ready to launch, right? Yeah. So why don't we have more of these? Because we don't have more holmium plate. Because there's no solution, because there's no ore. Okay, so this guy's not going to function for that reason. Now, is there a reason we don't have more holmium plate? Because of this process. I thought we had... this whole... yeah, these guys are working. There's no solution because there's no ore? Oh, you know what? I'm betting it's probably because... well, no. I was like, oh, maybe it's because we just don't have any of this, but we have some. It's just, I wonder if it's just we don't have enough throughput of this because it's backing up, because we need to be running these lines constantly. So I think we are going to have to redesign this a little bit. I have a different design for this from our multiplayer world. Maybe I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. But basically, what it is it's the same concept with this. However, it's 2 lanes, so these only fill one side of the belt, and then the raw material fills the other side of the belt, sort of, so to speak. Yeah, that's normal. Okay, so then they're just going to be producing it really slow. Alright, how many were we able to get up here? 20, 40, 55. Oh, I guess I could have just hovered this, huh? Okay, so we have 55 out of how many do we need? We need 81, so 55 is quite a way towards what we need. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is we are just going to do this. We're just going to do this, and we're going to have it go back to, we're on Volcanus. I was about to click Gleba because we've been on Gleba for the last week in our multiplayer world. Let me tell you, that world, it makes you think differently about Factorio. Good ways and bad ways, that is for sure. Because I despise having to deal with a spoilage timer. And I know, I could just default to robots, and honestly, robots just solve so many of your issues, because typically when you have a machine, so, like, I don't know, a chemical plant, for instance, like, it's super easy just to go chest, chest, and you're done. Robots will handle everything, handles all the input, handles all the output. Excellent. However, on Gleba, you can't necessarily structure it like that, because you have your input, yes, but then the input could spoil. Anything in the machine, almost anything in the machine can spoil. So it's like, okay, well, your output here, this kind of automatically handles that, because anything that's in this, if it spoils, will just go into the output. Which is problematic, because if you're doing a belt, then you have to start using filters, and now you have like extra belts leading out of the machine. But this way it's like, oh, well, this automatically handles the machine, so the only thing you have to handle here is that, and then bam, you're good. And then basically, instead of having a passive provider where stuff stays in this, you end up using like active providers where it forces it out of the network, or forces it out of the chest, excuse me, because then it's keeping the chest clear, so that way material doesn't sit here idle. Because that's kind of the biggest thing, is on one hand, you don't really want your nutrients and other stuff from Gleba to sit idle, but at the same time, you want it to be used up. And that's partially why I think they implemented, if you look on inserters, a spoiled priority for spoiled first or fresh first. And definitely it's interesting to kind of get into that. I don't think I've implemented any of that into any designs, but it's still just, oof, a whole other world. Alright, so while we wait for the circuitry stuff to get going, let's go ahead and begin working on that low density structure, I think. I think that's the move for today, is to get new LDS going. We need 17 machines. So let's go ahead and grab some more foundries. And then we gotta figure out where we're gonna put them. I think we might put them here. We'll do belt stuff here, LDS here, whatchamacallit, the science here. So then circuitry will probably do like up here, because what I'm thinking is we'll do trains around this region. We still have to figure out where we're going to put all the tungsten. That's going to be the biggest issue in all of this. And I'll talk about that while we kind of grow and grab stuff. Because tungsten, the issue with it, is we need so much of it for the belts. Like, we're going to need some for science. But, like, this is how much we need for science. Not terribly a lot. But for, belt, green belt, it uses copious and copious amounts of it. To the point where it is ridiculous to try to have to process that much stuff. And what I mean is, in order to get enough carbide, we need 45 yellow machines, like tier 2? No, tier 3 assembly machines. without any speed modules. For the plate, for the tungsten plate, we need 131 with 4 speed module 2s. Like, that to me is just insane how much we need for those things. Like, it's just absolutely baffling. Alright. So then this guy, we're gonna do this. So this uses both of these plus plastic. Ooh, plastic. Plastic is bought. Okay, so then we're not gonna put this here. Because it's a lot easier for me to move liquid up there. And because I don't want really long travel times. That's kind of something I'm wanting to try to avoid if possible, is I don't really want robots having to go further than they absolutely have to. And so we'll just put the smelting stuff here. Okay, so we need, how many did I say? 17? Question mark? Big question mark. 17, so we're going to do 18 just so it's an even number. Yes, it will throw off our ratios, but only slightly. 6, 7, 8. So that's 16. That is 18, right? Yep. Okay, then we go 1, 2, 3. And my favorite part is being able to just copy and paste for the rotation, because trying to get the rotation is a pain in the butt. Okay, we do need some pipe. Let's go. I guess we can just do this. Ooh, actually, no. We can do... Where is... Yep. How many do we need? We need... 8. No. Right? We need that many. Although that would be true, it doesn't work because these are larger entities. Never mind. So what we're gonna have to do is do this. Basically gonna look like this, and we'll connect up the other parts. What's also nice is you can flip the inputs and outputs now. So for instance, you can swap these by pressing H. It rotates them, so if you want to mirror them all the way down, you can. It makes building stuff like this really, really easy. Alright, so that's all connected up. Now we're gonna need... Oh, I don't know, something like that. Something like that. And then... There we go. Okay, so that should all be connected up now. So now we need iron. Molten iron. Which is way down here. Okay. So if I brought it all the way up, we're gonna hit machines, right? Yep. Okay. I need... We could probably bring it up through here-ish. Is that an option? Yes. Okay. So this is the molten iron. And so this is a case where we could probably just flip everything or try to move it around. Or what we can do as well is... like that. Let's go ahead and find where our molten copper is coming out. Actually, we might not have even connected up the molten copper. Is it all just connected but not outputting? Yeah, because we never connected up the stone either. Okay. Interesting. That shouldn't be too hard. I suppose we just do... That could be in the way if we ever expand, but it's pipe, so it's not too hard to move. Okay, now I could do something like that. Excellent. Okay, so everything's hooked up there. And then we need to do power, so I'll just do something like that. This got 4, that can get 4, we'll do one on the end. A little bit of overlap, that's fine. Yeah, what if we're gonna do it like that? Well, hold up. 2, 3, 4. Oh, who cares? They're all powered. Alright. And then we need a requester chest. And we need a passive provider. Because these need plastic. And let's do 400 because there's 2 machines pulling. This does need to be one closer. Alright, looks like we do have to adjust just so that way there is power on every tile. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate. There we go. Like that. Excellent. Okay. So everything's covered there. Let's go ahead and make sure that way we get the copper area going as well with this, because I think there was a section, yeah, that wasn't able to be built. So let's make sure that way we have ample coverage here with roboports. I mean, yeah, I guess our robots can build it, but... Okay, let's see, where is it complaining that it is not long enough? Down here at the end? Okay, that's perfect. How much molten copper are we moving? Question. We are moving 3.6, so we need 4. Just like this. Okay. So we're just going to do this. And then we need... That looks good. Okay, that should function now. So then that would give us low density structure, so that's one step closer to being able to launch our rockets off in space. Okay, so now that we have that, we went ahead and got all that connected, so now we need to start figuring out some other stuff. So I know we're going to put, let's add a tag. Science. Just so we don't forget where things are going. So we'll put science there. We'll then do belts. Let's see. I'll just do green belt. Like here. And then tungsten is going to be just, oof, a whole other beast, in my opinion. Tongue process is going to be like up here. The problem is this lava lake is really going to be in our way, but we'll have to make do probably with this whole quadrant kind of L-shaped thing going on, but we still need trains. How many trains we need is, ooh, holy, that's a lot. Based on the calculations that we're going to have, and again, this is assuming 100% production, 100% uptime. However, as we all know, for people who have any sort of factory, there's usually going to be idle time. You're very rarely ever going to have 100% uptime. in a factory. You might have like 98% uptime, you might have 80% uptime, but in all honesty, depending on what the thing is you're producing, like in my case, belts, they're not really going anywhere. There's not really an endpoint for them, so they will back up. So eventually that portion of the factory, this large chunk of the factory, will shut off. However, at peak consumption, it is 35,000 tungsten ore per minute, so that is equivalent to 17.2, or we're going to round up 18 train cars of material coming in every minute. Considering right now we only have 8 train cars, we basically need to double it and then add 2 more. Like this guy here, 9.1. We're probably going to have to tap this tungsten right here, 3.6. We're almost certainly going to also need to tap this tungsten for 12, this one for 1.8, 2.8, 2.7, so that we're going to more than likely have to claim some more area, just so we can be able to produce as much greed belt as one machine is able of producing, if that makes sense. So definitely I think in the next episode we'll start planning that out, or actually I think in between episodes my goal hopefully is to get science set up, most if not all the belting stuff set up, and then ideally start building / planning out how it's going to be laid out, because we need to figure out trains in this. At least if we take this tile we get the tungsten, but we also get this like section of free territory, and it looks like there's a good bit of a gap here that we can use to route belts in, and then into any processing, and then columns if we need to. And then it looks like there's no lava here, so we could take these 2 tiles as well if we want to keep pushing north and stuff. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, tips, tricks, or anything else, leave that down below in the comment section. Or if you just want to leave a thumbs up on the video, that is awesome as well. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, as it really helps out with the channel. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. And as always, peace out. And remember, the factory must grow. See you guys later.